At this point, we are really familiar with whole numbers. So whole numbers, as we know, they start from 0 and they go on until infinity. So we have already understood whole numbers and what they really mean. When we were studying whole numbers, we came across an operation such as this. So for example, let's say that I start with 4 and I subtract 3. So I know that what I have to do in this case is that I would start from 4 and I would go back 3 places and I would end up at 1. So this is what this operation is really doing. Now let's suppose that I want to do, instead of 4 minus 3, 3 minus 4. So this is a valid operation, I can do that. But the problem here is that if I start from 3 and I go back 4 places, so I go back 1, 2, 3, 4, I fall off the number line. So this number line of whole numbers is not really able to accommodate my operation, this 3 minus 4 operation, and I don't know what the answer would be in this case. So this big problem is actually solved by extending the number line, and this extended number line is known as the number line of integers. So what are integers? Integers consist of 3 parts. They consist of all the positive numbers. We know that they are the natural numbers, so they are all positive, and of course they go on till infinity. They consist of all these negative numbers. So what do we mean by negative numbers? The number becomes negative when I prepend a minus sign to it. So for example, this is 1, and if I want to create minus 1, I would just prepend a minus sign to it. If I want to create minus 2, I would just put a minus sign before 2. And all of these negative numbers, again, they go on till infinity, and our integers contain all of these negative numbers as well. And our integers, the set of integers also contains 0. So integers are negative numbers plus 0 plus all the positive numbers. These integers are able to accommodate our subtraction now. That is the most important thing that we should see here. So previously, while I was not able to do this operation, now I would be able to. You will see magically what happens is we start from 3 and we are able to go back 1, 2, 3, 4 places and come to minus 1, and that is of course our answer. But more importantly, we did not fall off the number line of integers, and our 3 minus 4 we were able to do that subtraction. It might seem like superfluous to just add this entire set of negative numbers just for the sake of it, just to make our subtraction slightly better. I mean, of course, if you think about it, these negative numbers don't seem to have any real use in our life. If I go to a shop, or for example, if I have certain number of pens, I only can have positive quantities of pen. I can have 1 pen, 2 pen, 3 pen. Even 0 pens is okay. If I don't really have a pen, I would say I have 0 pens. But what about these negative pens? How can I ever have negative pens? So these numbers, the negative numbers, don't really seem to have any use, and they might seem superfluous, they might seem useless to us. But that is not the case. They have tremendous application in computers, in mathematics, higher mathematics, which we will be doing, algebra for example, and of course accounting, and also physics. In sciences, they are pretty extensively used. We cannot think of any modern day subject which depends upon mathematics to not have negative numbers. They are so ingrained in our modern subjects. So let's just try to see an example of where this might find use. These negative numbers might find use. So let's say that I have a bank account and it has 5 rupees in it. What I do is that I go to an ATM and I withdraw 4 rupees. You will say, sir, then we would be left with 1 rupee. Of course, that should be our bank balance. We know that. Now, what happens if I go to an ATM and withdraw all 5 rupees? Then you will say that, sir, my bank balance would become 0. I really would not have anything in my bank account at that point. What happens if I really have an emergency and for some reason I need 6 rupees. I only have 5 rupees in my bank account, but I need 6 rupees for setting up some industry, for some medical emergency, for something. I need 6 rupees. What should bank do in that case? See, the banks, what they do in that case is that they don't really say that don't withdraw 6 rupees. They allow you to withdraw 6 rupees. But what they say is that your bank balance in that case is not 1, but minus 1. So it becomes negative. And negative means that instead of bank owing you 1 rupees, you really owe the bank 1 rupee. That's what this negative one says. It is your debt. Okay. So at this point, 5 rupees came from our balance. So this 6 is made up of 5 plus 1. These 5 rupees came from our bank balance, which was 5 rupees, of course. This additional one was loaned to us by the bank, and this loan is represented by using negative numbers. So of course, right off the bat, we were able to find out an example where these negative numbers are pretty much very useful. So this is our depth. One of the things at this point to really understand is that both the operation of withdrawal, so if I withdraw, if I take out money from the bank account, or if I take out money from bank account, or if I take debt, if I owe debt, both of those operations reduce my bank balance. Okay, so those are one and the same thing, more or less, essentially, right? Because withdraw money from bank account as well as taking debt from the bank, they would both reduce the bank balance, the balance in my account. What happens if I do opposite? What happens if I deposit, let's say, 1 rupee back into my bank account? So I had a balance, I started with a balance of -1. As soon as I deposit 1 rupee back into my bank account, the bank says that, oh, your loan is now done. You don't owe anything, but you don't have any balance either. That 1 rupee is taken again by the bank to fulfill the loan, that additional 1 rupee that it gave to me earlier. And it says that your bank balance is now 0. So after I add 1 rupee, I don't really get that in my balance that is used to fulfill, to settle my debt. This is the first thing. The second thing is that if I, on top of this 0 balance, if I add anything further, if I make more deposits, let's say that I deposit 4 rupees, then those would be added to my bank account. So if I deposit 4 rupees, my balance would really become 4. So now at this point, we say that both depositing, if I deposit money into my bank account, or if I settle my debt, right? If I'm paying off my debt, if I'm paying it off, both those operations are really equivalent and they increase my bank account. Okay, the balance in my bank account. So those two operations are equivalent. This is what the concept that we would use for rest of this class to really understand addition and subtraction of this on the set of integers, both positive as well as negative. Now that we have understood how to extend the number line, let's look at the various terminologies associated with the number line. Let's look at the various sets of numbers that we have on number line. So here is our set of natural numbers. We all know that they start from 1 and they go on till infinity. That is the first set, the most basic set that everyone understood even before this level. If I add 0 to this set, okay, so starting from 1, I really have natural numbers. If I add 0 to this set, starting from 0 and going in positive direction, I have whole numbers. And then if I add negative integers to this as well, if I add all the negative numbers, negative integers to it as well, this entire set is known as set of integers. And again, if you notice, this number line extends in both directions. So we don't really end at 9, but we go on till infinity, as we did for natural numbers, right, which extended only in one direction but went on till infinity. So do integers. They go on from infinity on this direction and to minus infinity in the negative direction. So those were the first kind of classification we can do of this number line. The second kind of classification that we can do for this number line is that starting from 1, we say that we have positive integers, and we should remember both of these classifications because both terms are actually used in your questions as well, and we should know. Okay, these are basic terms. Starting from -1 and going backwards till, of course, minus infinity, we have negative integers, and then we have the number in the middle, which is 0. So 0 is really different, it is separate, but it is included in the set of integers. So integers consist of negative integers, -1 till infinity, positive integers, +1 till infinity, and of course 0 right in the middle. All of those three things. Very, very important.